And would the clerk call the roll, please?
Commissioner Brastad. Here. Commissioner West. Here. Commissioner Schulte.
Here.
Commissioner Meisner.
Here.
Commissioner Gamache.
Here.
Commissioner Reinert.
Here.
Thank you for that. And now we'll move to tax claims and abatements. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
A motion by Commissioner Brastad. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner West. Further discussion? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Brastad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
That item passes. Let's go to item 5 on your agenda, where we'll consider accepting the regular claims paid over $500 and purchase card claims paid for the period ending October 22nd of 2021. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
A motion by Commissioner Meisner. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gamache. Is there further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner West. Aye. Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Brastad.
Aye.
That item passes. Next, we are going to move to approve the minutes from October 26th of 2021 for our county board meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Brastad. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gamache. Any further corrections or direction? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That item passes. Next, we have Chair's Remarks. And this morning we have one item under Chair's Remarks. That's to recognize November as National Adoption Awareness Month. To start off this presentation, I'm going to ask Commissioner Reinert, Chair of our Human Services Committee, to introduce this item.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Very important item. According to the United States Department of Health and Human Services, on any given day, there are nearly 424,000 children in foster care in the United States, and the number of children waiting to be placed in foster care often exceeds 120,000. These children simply want to find permanent, loving homes. In Minnesota, according to the Department of Human Services, as of October 2021, there were 1,473 children under state guardianship, many of whom are waiting to be adopted. In Anoka County, there are 57 children who are wards of the state, and currently 9 of those children are waiting to be adopted. To recognize and support the work of fostering and finding permanent homes for children, I'd like to ask Jess Van Kuyk, Manager of Children and Family Services, and Jill Davis, Supervisor of the Permanency Unit in Children and Family Services, to tell us a little more about our efforts at the local level to help kids under state guardianship and find forever homes. Jill, Jess?
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. Thank you for having us today. As you mentioned, I'm Jess and this is Jill. November is Adoption Month. We have been in front of you in years past and will be presenting updated data for the last several years. In the year 2000, the first annual Adoption Day was held. Here in Anoka County, we sponsored our first National Adoption Day event on November 21st, 2009. Over the last 12 years, 165 children have been adopted into 111 families during Anoka County Adoption Day celebrations. Anoka County is part of a larger effort to ensure every child has a forever family. National Adoption Day has helped close to 75,000 children move from foster care to a forever family. On average, 135,000 children are adopted in the United States each year, and approximately 59% of those children are from the child welfare foster care system. One of the pathways to adoption is through the child protection system. Once a child protection report is received, it is screened in for an assessment and a social worker is assigned to assess the child risk and safety. Safety planning and reasonable and exhaustive efforts are made to keep the child in the home whenever possible. If a child is removed from their caregiver, services are provided to return the child home as soon as possible. If reunification is deemed not possible, a permanency path is then established. As you can see from the data, the number of cases that actually proceed to a permanency disposition is quite small as compared to the number of child protection intake cases. If a child cannot safely return home, the court establishes permanency for the child by either a transfer of legal custody to a non-custodial parent or another family member, or by a termination of parental rights, either voluntarily or involuntarily. Today, we are focusing on the adoption permanency option.
We have 3 core beliefs that anchor our work on behalf of children. We believe that every child deserves a forever family, which includes being loved unconditionally. We also believe that no child is unadoptable. We know that children come through our child protection system often have experienced trauma, neglect, and abuse, which may result in challenging behaviors or mental health concerns. But we believe that every child surrounded with a positive support system has the potential to prevail through these challenges, and despite having difficult moments, are engaging and lovable people. Another core belief is that every child we support will have permanency. We make every effort that children in our care have a permanent lifetime connections network. Even if a youth will not end up in a formal forever family, we will ensure that we identify and facilitate connections between caring people and the youth that will last after our agency's services have ended. We want to share a few statistics from 2021's Minnesota's Waiting Children. Currently, there's almost 1,500 children under state guardianship. 59% are siblings who need to be adopted together. 37% are white, 27% are Black or African American, 26% are 2 or more races, 5% are American Indian, and 4% are Asian or Pacific Islander. 66% have a documented special need, including physical, mental, or a behavioral disability. At 43%, children under the youth ages 12 to 18 remain the highest number of kids who are waiting for a forever home. On any given day, there's 265 children in and out of home placement in Anoka County. We have over 232 licensed foster homes. As said earlier, currently we have 57 children with the legal disposition of being a ward of the state, and of those 57 children, 48 children live with families that will be adopting them in the next few months. Currently, we have 9 children who do not have an identified adoptive family. And if appropriate, we will utilize strategies to connect them to their forever family through recruitment. Right now, we have 2 groups of siblings, a sibling group of 4 and a sibling group of 2, whose foster parents are contemplating adopting them. In 2021 and 2020, we did see less adoptions than in the past, which of course, as many things, COVID played a role. The court process was slowed down significantly, as was the process to license foster care homes, because it was much more difficult to get background checks completed. This year, we have completed 32 adoptions. 17 of those adoptions were into relative homes, and 15 were into non-relative families. In 2020 and 21, we have seen a decline in the trend to have relatives be the majority of adoptive homes, but it's too soon to have a clear understanding for the reasons behind that decline. There is a process for being considered to become a child's youth forever family, as there should be. The process is similar for both relative and non-relative families. Potential parents will complete a home study and go through the foster care licensing process. We make significant efforts to ensure that adoptive parents are not on their own, and we try to help prepare families for life after an adoption is finalized. We use resources such as in-home family therapy, respite care, and mentors to assist people preparing to adopt. When we are ready to match potential adoptive parents and children, we look for a variety of characteristics and traits. We look for people who are flexible and open to new experiences and are willing to learn new skills that support their new family members. We look for people that have a strong support network and are not afraid to get help and assistance when needed. And flexibility and patience are essential traits that we look for. Most of all, having a strong sense of humor and the ability to have fun is extremely important when living with children and really are keys to successful parenting. Most importantly, we look for people with a strong level of commitment so that they will be truly a forever family. People interested in adopting children through Anoka County connect with us in a variety of ways. Through the Anoka County website, Anoka County Foster Care, the Department of Human Services website, and MinAdopt, which is an online resource for families and agencies. There's a high level of collaboration between the Anoka County foster care service area and our area, and it's not unusual for Anoka County foster parents to also become interested in adopting children in their care. Other key partners include agencies such as Lutheran Social Services, Children's Home Society, and the Real Home Project that assist us in identifying and connecting with potential adoptive families. Since 2017, we've had 7 Real Hope videos completed, and 3 of those videos were part of the matching process for finding an adoptive family. 2 of our Real Hope videos were made in 2020, and 1 has been made so far this year, and we have 1 more scheduled. This month, we're recognizing that every child deserves a home and love. We honor the many families that have been created through adoption in Anoka County, and we take time to reflect and celebrate our connections with one another. Due to COVID, we will be recognizing completing adoptions in November and December with gift bags and family t-shirts rather than doing an in-person event. Over the next few months, we will have 14 children that will be adopted into 8 families, and of those 8 families, 4 of those families will be relatives of the children.
So as you can see this picture, adoptions the past 18 months have looked a little bit different. They are happening by Zoom, but all the same, it's a celebration and people are happy to be there. As you can see from this picture, there's the judges present, several Anoka County social workers, guardian ad litem, county attorney, and the family. So all the same, we celebrate every adoption that's completed and a child being in a forever family. Thank you. Do you guys have any questions or comments?
Well, thank you both for your work and for the information you've provided for us today. I mean, what you do is kind of the intersection of really sad times for some people and then absolutely exuberant times when families are found. Every child deserves love. There's no question about that. And the work you do is the Lord's work. You do a good job, and I'm so proud to be a part of the Anoka County team. I will comment for any of the commissioners that are heading to the conference, the annual conference for AMC in December. The Real Hope Project will be presenting there. I know Jill's been working with some people from Real Hope to make sure they can present and more people can learn about the successes in Anoka County and perhaps spread that statewide so other counties can see the success we've had. With that, I see Commissioner Meisner has a question or response.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just commentary. I mean, pre-COVID, I was able to come to the celebration, and it was so moving just to witness. And then feedback. So I actually had a friend in the last year who went through the process to become a foster parent and then potentially adopt. And it's overwhelming, but she had a very good experience because of your staff. So I just wanted to let you know that, and please share that with your team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, seeing no further comments, I would like to introduce Resolution 2021-124, proclaiming November 2021 as Adoption Awareness Month in Anoka County, and invite my fellow commissioners to join with me. The resolution is before us. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? That item passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate your work. And with that, we'll move back to our regular agenda and we'll move to the Management Committee report. Commissioner West.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As it is already well known that our medical examiner's office has been growing exponentially. So because of that, we are needing to expand the number of positions. So that's what these first 3 items are. The first is a new position at the medical examiner's office effective December 1st. It's 1 FTE office investigator grade B010.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
A motion by Commissioner Brasted. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner West. Is there further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, this is a roll call vote. Commissioner Schulte. Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
And the next item.
Next item is a new position in the medical examiner's office. It is a 1 FTE forensic technician, grade B 111.
Is there a motion to approve?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Reinert. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gamache. Further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye. And that item passes.
And the last item is the same. It's a restructure for the same position, forensic technician, grade B 111. It's going to go from a 0.6 FTE to full-time 1 FTE.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Brassad. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gamache. Is there further discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner West?
I'd just like to comment that this office opened up when I came on back in '07, and it's grown immensely. We've had many, many counties from Minnesota join us, and they've been very happy with the service. It's a needed service, and some counties are just so small that it's very expensive for them to do anything else. So I think we've got great staff there and great leadership, and I'm just thankful that we're at this point.
Thank you, Commissioner West. Just perhaps one clarification, Minnesota and Wisconsin, I believe.
Yes, yes.
That's right.
Commissioner Gamache?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know that in the past few years, we've had issues hiring for a lot of these positions, and I'm not sure if these, being forensic technicians, if there's as much of a shortage there as in other areas, but just kind of curious. It seems, this is great to see, so I'm just wondering if we're struggling to find people.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and County Commissioners. Actually, that forensic technician position is highly specialized. It requires a lot of on-site training. It can take upwards of 4 to 5 months just to have someone comfortable enough to be able to independently do an exam alongside a forensic pathologist. So it is incredibly challenging to find. And staffing in this 0.6 capacities, we're dealing with difficulty of people wanting to stay as a part-timer. They really want that full-time career job. So I think this will help us immensely.
Shane, for the record, could you state your name and position?
I apologize. My name is Shane Sheets, Director of the Midwest Medical Examiner's Office.
Excellent. Thank you. Commissioner Reinert?
I'd like to just make one comment. You know, a lot of, as Commissioner West said, you know, this facility has grown a lot since 2007, and a lot of times people hear that, you know, government is growing and that's a bad thing, but in this case, it's a good thing. You know, a lot of counties can't afford this kind of work, and I think it's, we take care of a third of this need in the state of Minnesota and Wisconsin, but a third in the state of Minnesota. And so it's a very, very needed, and obviously you guys are doing a great job because people keep coming on board and doing work with us. So just wanted to mention that for, you know, measure.
Thank you, Commissioner Reinert. Commissioner Meisner?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If my memory serves me correctly, all this growth is also budget neutral. So just wanted to make a point as well, since in terms of growing government, but which is impressive. Thank you.
Well, and I will add, the medical examiner's office has done a good job of watching that. Of course, we always need to be prepared. There are other medical examiners in the state of Minnesota where our clients could choose to go, and then pretty soon we've got a lot of docs and forensic technologists, and we're overstaffed. But we watch that closely, and we make sure we're competitively priced to make sure we keep our clientele here and happy, and that's really the name of the game. So thank you, Shane, for being here and answering our questions.
Thank you very much.
Seeing no further discussion, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
That item passes.
And the last item is Management Committee recommends adopting Resolution 2021 M14. It's relating to extending the appointment of David M. Ziegelmeyer as acting county surveyor.
Is there an offer of the resolution?
I'll offer the resolution.
Resolution's been offered by Commissioner Brassad and is before you now. Is there further discussion? Commissioner Meisner?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just congratulations. I know that this particular position was a long time in filling and securing. Thank you.
Well, and to be clear, this is a temporary extension. We still will be looking at filling this position permanently, but this is the temporary extension, so. But we're glad to have Mr. Ziegelmeyer here. He's done a great job for us, and great in the interim, and who knows what names we'll see in the hat when it comes time for permanent replacement. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? That resolution is adopted.
And Mr. Chairman, the rest is informational. There are other items that went directly to the county board in the past, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner West. We will then move to the Transportation Committee report. We did meet on November 1st over at the Lacaparo Conference Room at the County Transportation Division facility, and we have 3 action items for you this morning. First, the committee recommends approval of a resolution authorizing the preparation of a highway right-of-way plat for improvements at the intersection of Old Central Avenue and Gardena Avenue in the city of Fridley. Is there an offer of the resolution?
I'd like to offer the resolution.
The resolution's been offered by Commissioner Meisner. And under discussion, I will just say that this is a new roundabout that will be installed right there by Moore Lake, just west of Totino Grace High School down the hill. And this action is actually authorizing the preparation of the right-of-way plat, and the following item we discussed will be a resolution authorizing the acquisition of that same right-of-way. Further discussion. Would anybody like an explanation from Joe, or I'll turn to Commissioner Meisner next?
Oh, do you want me to go or Joe to go?
You go ahead first.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
If we have questions, Joe can answer them.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just comments. So we just had a community outreach meeting around this, and just my compliments. There's a lot of participation, a lot of feedback. The staff of Anoka County was listening, taking notes. So I just really appreciate that. And there was a lot of feedback. So I think that these things, and I know that this has been in practice now for several years where we go to the community, but I cannot stress enough how important it is. And at the end of the day, even though there's, a lot of times controversy, people can buy in and really feel good and secure about the decisions that happen. So thank you.
Thank you.
Is there further discussion? I will say this was a little bit of a tricky area. They have the city park just off to the west of it here that abuts the lake, and the road comes in at an angle, and on top of that, there's a pretty steep grade coming down the hill. So it's challenging, but nobody's better suited to handle that challenge than Joe and his team in our highway division. So we're confident in the work they're doing. They're working closely with the city of Fridley to make sure both the city's happy and the constituents are happy in the end. The resolution has been offered. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And that item passes. And now item 2 again is the same project, and we're looking to pass a resolution authorizing the acquisition of that right-of-way at Old Central and Gardena. Is there an offer of that resolution?
So moved.
Resolution's been offered by Commissioner Meisner. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
That item passes. And then lastly, on the highway action items, the committee recommends approval of a resolution requesting a speed zone study on Kettle River Boulevard from Broadway Avenue to the East County line as requested by the city of Columbus. This is one of those where the state sets speed limits, and cities need to request through the county to go to the state to do a speed zone study. Most of the time, they come back status quo or increased speeds. This is already a 55-mile-an-hour speed zone, so they won't increase it. So Columbus is hoping that they'll relook at it and that the 85th percentile of traffic actually comes down in speed a little bit, and they can get the speed reduced in this corridor. They've asked us to do it. We don't see any problem, and the committee didn't see any problem with agreeing to that, so we're hoping that you'll feel the same way. And did I get an offer of this resolution yet?
I'd like to move adoption of Resolution 2021 TR 25.
TR 26, I believe.
No, mine says 25.
Okay, well, it is TR 26, so
It's number 3.
Maybe I'm not on the right one. No, it's 26.
we have an offer of the resolution. And is there any further discussion on the resolution? Commissioner Gamache?
Just a quick question. I was kind of wondering if Joe would know Columbus's issues with this, and I'm assuming because now that I can see that it's really close to Interstate 35, that it may have become a cut-through at some point in time where people are getting off the freeway and trying to get home in a different fashion, and they're using that, and their city is noticing traffic speeds picking up.
Yeah.
Joe.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Gamache, members of the board, my name is Joe McPherson. I'm the Transportation Division Manager and County Engineer. You're exactly correct. When the I-35 project was going on, when they were doing the overlay on 35, and then also to the south when they were doing the 35 W Min Pass project, I think it's called the Easy Pass project. At that time, there was a lot of cut-through traffic. And so people got acclimated to using Lake Drive, and then it's a quick transition onto Kettle River Boulevard to take them up into Wyoming. So I think what they experienced is during that time, they saw an uptick in traffic. A lot of times perception with speed is based on that. So as Commissioner Schulte had mentioned, it's already been studied once, it's at 55 miles an hour. So really there's no threat in it going up. They're just hopeful it comes down. If the speeds are high though, it's highly unlikely it'll come down, but it's worth studying. So I would support it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Commissioner Gamache. Further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? That item passes. That does complete the Transportation Committee report, which brings us to the Intergovernmental and Community Relations Committee Chair report. Commissioner Preston.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There's just one item, and that's that I would recommend the county board adopt Resolution IG 2021-09, resolution accepting dedicated gifts for Anoka County Veteran Services. And the individuals donating are Ham Lake Lanes, Full Moon Bar and Restaurant, Jumpin' Jacks, and the Coon Rapids American Legion. And our Anoka County Vet Service Office uses these donations to help provide transportation and rides for our veterans to their medical and other appointments. So I'm happy to offer that resolution.
The resolution's been offered by Commissioner Brasted and is before you. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad?
Aye.
Commissioner West?
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte?
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner?
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache?
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert?
Aye.
That item passes.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Brasted. Next on our agenda is the Parks Committee report. We'll turn to Commissioner Gamache.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Parks Committee met on Tuesday, November 2nd at the beautiful Bunker Hills Regional Park Campground Visitor Center. It's looking great and all ready for the new ski season coming up for cross-country skiing and snowshoeing. So anybody interested, that's where you can rent both of those. We only had one action item. The committee recommended to the county board to adopt resolution 2021 PRK 16, accepting a gift from James E. Anderson Jr. for $200 to the Wargo Nature Center. Mr. Anderson is a regular visitor to the Wargo Nature Center, and on his last visit, he donated $200 to us. The donation will be used to purchase bird feed for the bird feeding stations, so we want to thank him for the donation, and we have a resolution before us.
Is there an offer of the resolution?
Mr. Chair, I'll move adoption to accept gifts from James E. Anderson.
The resolution has been offered and is now before you. Is there any further comments? I think it's awesome that there's a regular user of the facility that wants to contribute a little bit back so he can keep using it and enjoy it. I think that's awesome. Seeing no further discussion, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad?
Aye.
Commissioner West?
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte?
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner?
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache?
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert?
Aye.
That item passes.
And the rest of the items were informational. We had some discussion about a couple positions within the Parks Department, and that one of them being a landscape planner and moving to reclassify a couple of those. But if there's any questions or any comments anybody has, Mr. Perry is here, our Parks Director. I do want to thank, as we have finished the season at Chamonix Golf Course, that ended Sunday, I believe, was the last round played. Just, they had a beautiful weekend. I hope they had a lot of folks out there. But I want to thank the staff for the great work on the maintenance of Chamonix Golf Course, because it was in extremely great shape this year. I thought it was just, every time I played out there, it was perfect. I still can't hit all the drives straight, but the course itself is in great shape. And I also want to thank our staff at Bunker Beach as we closed a very successful season at the newly opened wave pool, because they did a great job from our lifeguards, our concession stand people at the front gate, and all of those that worked on the pool and everything themselves, and it looked great. So there's a lot of maintenance that goes into keeping the grass and the sand and everything in good shape, and it just we had a great season, and everything looked fantastic. So the great staff that we have working at both of those facilities, I want to thank them for a great season in 2021, and looking forward to the same in 2022. Jeff, I don't know if you wanted to add anything more to that, but I just wanted to throw that out for all the great work that's been done this year.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. My name is Jeff Perry, Park Director for Anoka County. And yeah, I just want to thank all of our customers that attended, that golfed at Chamonix Golf Course and attended the Bunker Beach Water Park this year. At Bunker Beach Water Park, we served over 150,000 guests, which is an all-time record. And yeah, just want to reach out to the public, to those folks that experience the facility, to genuinely thank them for their business. And we look forward to continuing to earn their business moving forward. And same thing for Chamonix Golf Course. You know, with the drought conditions this year, there were many challenges. We had some insect and disease problems that were addressed right away by our golf course superintendent, Greg Iden. And again, it was just a good recipe for success with the support of the county board and outstanding staff to care for those facilities. So with that, Mr. Chair, that's all I had.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Gamache. Commissioner Reinert.
I'd just like to add one thing, and that is that both these facilities, the water park and Chamonix, people might question sometimes why we're in these areas, but as well as they're being operated, and especially this last year, they both ended up the year in very much in the black. So people don't have to be worried about how we're running them. It's a plus.
Well, and I think,
and a great amenity to all the residents.
I think more importantly, it is truly an economic development tool to draw people to the region, to make sure they can experience all that is Anoka County, whether it's our restaurants or our hotels, whatever it is. We need to get them here, and certainly our water park and our golf course are a part of that equation. And it does cross that line occasionally, as why is government in something typically operated by the private industry? Well, if the private industry is not here and not doing it, sometimes we have to step up and do it. And that's what this board and the previous board has made the decision to do, just that. And I agree with your comments. As long as we can keep these things running strong and in the black, and that they become an amenity to the community without the burden of a tax levy to fund them, then I agree it's well worth the expense and time we put into it. Well, that does conclude our board meeting today. With nothing left to come before the board, I'll declare us adjourned.